all of your favorite recipes. Simply Food.
You should know by now that you're in for a treat.
Simply Food.
There's no other channel where you'd rather be.
Simply Food. Seafood, pasta, cakes, and pies. Sing and laugh and even cry. Like and share and hit subscribe. Simply Food by TY.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's your boy, Simply Food by TY, and you guys already know what time it is. Today, I'm going to show you guys how I make a delicious pot of kale. So as you guys can see, in my large stock pot, I've already laid in 4 smoked turkey necks. Now, this was about 1.5 pounds worth, and you want to make sure that you're covering them just enough so that there's water, maybe I would say about 1 inch from the top of them, okay? And to add in an extra boost of flavor, I'm going to add in 1 tablespoon of the Better Than Bouillon roasted chicken base. Now, of course, if you don't have that, of course, you can use chicken stock, but just don't use too much because you do not want too much liquid or you're going to end up with soupy greens and ain't nobody got time for that. You're going to put the top on that and allow that to cook for about 1.5 hours. And while you do that, let's talk about our kale itself. So as I said, I'm going to be making kale, which is different from collard greens, but the cleaning process is pretty much the same. And I want to talk about how you can be tricked and fooled by how pretty they can look. As you can see, these greens are beautifully green. They look like they are in tip-top condition. You know, there's barely any bruise marks on them. So you would think, oh, okay, well, I just need to do a little rinse and they'll be fine. Absolutely not. These need to be treated just like the dirtiest of dirtiest greens because I'm telling you, the looks will fool you. They will look like they are perfectly clean and they are not, okay? So the first step in getting your greens prepared is we want to get rid of the stems. Now, the reason why I want to talk about the stems is because, you know, nowadays you have these brands that are preparing greens in the bags, and those are all fine and dandy, but I don't know if you guys have noticed when you use those, I would say a good 30% of that bag is filled with mostly stems, the stuff that you actually don't even want to be eating. So that's the reason why I just say take the time to just get the greens and just do this part yourself, because I promise you, you'll be much happier in the end and you'll realize that you weren't wasting your money on a bag full of stems, because the stems are really tough, and by the time they would get soft enough to consume, your greens would be soggy. Now, y'all know that I usually never leave in the sound for these type of things, but someone said, TY, can you please leave in the sound when you're like washing your greens? I love the sound of the water. So I said, honey, why not? It's no big deal. But I want to talk about this because you need to make sure that you guys are properly washing the greens. So either with a kosher salt or a sea salt and baking soda. And if you would like, you can do 1 to 2 tablespoons of vinegar. You want to make sure that you are really rubbing your greens up against each other so that you can get off all of that dirt. Because I'm telling you right now, if you do not properly clean your greens, you will end up with muddy greens. There's no other way around it. You must take the time to properly wash them. I do this process at least 3 or 4 times or until the water is running clear. After the 3rd time, if you think you only need to do it 1 more time, and that last time, do not add any salt. You want nothing but water, okay? So the first 3 times you clean it, do it with baking soda and salt. The 4th time, you want to do it with just plain water. And of course, make sure that the water is nice and cold so that, number 1, you don't start any of the cooking process and you can keep your greens nice and crisp. So now that we've had our smoked turkey necks on for about 1.5 hours, they are getting very, very tender. So now is a good stage and a good time for us to go on ahead and start adding in all of the greens. Now, by the time this is done, you're going to think, oh my God, TY, why in the world did you use such a big pot? I just prefer to do it that way because it just speeds up the cooking process instead of me trying to jam pack it all into a small pot. So that's the reason why I always use a big pot, so I could just put all of my greens in at one time. But I will tell you this, even if you use a big pot and you put all of the greens in, do not add any more liquid. You do not need it. You're going to end up with soup, and you don't want that. The amount of water that we put in there from the beginning is all of the water that you're going to need. And the reason why I say this is because, first of all, I only used about 2 to 3 large bunches of kale. And if you put too much liquid in there, it's going to overcook. They're going to boil. They're going to turn soggy, and you just do not want that, okay? So let's start adding in some seasonings. I'm adding in, I would say, about 2.5 tablespoons of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of garlic powder, I'm also going in with 1 tablespoon of the Maggi Pollo's chicken bouillon seasoning. We're going to add in some black pepper. You can always do that to taste. And then let's talk about the salt. You want to be very light-handed on the salt in the beginning because, as I always say, you can always add salt, but you can't take it away. So I would start with about 1 tablespoon of the seasonal salt and about 1/2 tablespoon of the complete Badia seasoning. You can always add more later on. You want to go on ahead and put the top on this after you give it a good mix around, and you're going to allow that to cook, I would say, for about 15 to 20 minutes. You want to reduce your temperature. If you have it up way too high and it's boiling, you're going to end up with really soggy greens and they're going to be overcooked, and you don't want that. You want a little bit of a crunch to them. So once you get them mixed around, go on ahead and put the top on them, let them cook for about 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll come back in a few moments. So after the 15 to 20 minutes, you can see that they've drastically reduced in size. And as I was stated earlier, that's the perfect amount of liquid in there. So we're going to add in 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter. You can then start tasting the broth to see if you would like to add in any more additional seasonings. At that point, after you tasted it and it's right, you put the top on, allow it to cook until it's just about tender. You don't want it to cook for too long because remember, it's going to still sit in that hot liquid anyway. So it'll continue to cook. And then you're going to end up with a beautiful pot of greens. Serve this with cornbread or have it with whatever you would like. Have it for the holidays. It is going to be just right. Look, if you are new to my channel, welcome to Simply Food by TY. If you're one of my returning subscribers, well, y'all babies know I love y'all so much. And as always, y'all babies stay cute and take care. Bye, guys. Enjoy. I'm going to tell you something. This is what you call kale, honey. This is how you make a pot of kale. See them smoked turkey necks? This kale is cooked to perfection. You hear me? Mm-hmm. Baby, got the perfect amount of bite, not slimy, not undercooked or overcooked. Just at the right spot. Bitch. Y'all know y'all want the recipe. All you gotta do is head over to SimplyFoodByTy on YouTube, subscribe, because all of my Thanksgiving and holiday recipes will be coming out over the next couple of weeks. My God.
Slaying in the kitchen.
Simply Food by TY.
We hope that you enjoyed it.
Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching.